Seems like all I could see was the struggle. Haunted by ghosts that lived in my past, bound up in shackles of all my failures.
We're Nate and Erika Johnson, and we have a son that we adopted from Uganda and a daughter who's almost 2. And we're just going to tell you a little bit of story about how our family came to be.
We actually met Elijah in July of 2010. We had been hearing a lot about Uganda from actually here at our church. Rio Central had taken their first trip to Uganda that year, I believe, and we kind of wanted to get in on what was going on there as far as missions goes. And at the time, we were working with the youth here at 180, and we were wanting to maybe take a youth trip there.
We didn't go there with the intention to adopt either. No. It's really, this story is totally God's hand on everything. Yeah. We didn't plan on adopting, when we went there. So
I'll never forget what he looked like, because he gotten tired, and so his head was kind of hanging to the side, and he was crying, and there were tears rolling down his face, but he wasn't making any sounds. And it just broke my heart, because I remember thinking how awful it is that this baby is crying and he doesn't even know to make sound and to scream, because he knows nobody's coming. He knew already at that point.
Just giving up, he was broken.
Even volunteers I talked to who were there before we came there had described him as just lifeless. They fully expected him to die.
And just prayed and just trying to seek God and what we should do with Elijah or about Elijah. Augustus at the time. But I think we just felt that we were either supposed to be his family or somehow help find him a family. We knew that we were supposed to do something to help him.
It started to become clear to us that God was really saying, yes, this is the son that I have for you. You're his family. And so, it was kind of with that thought that we went ahead and said yes to him, and we went and spoke with the director of the orphanage and started the process to adopt him, which that was a long process, and it was 13 months after we met him that he actually got to come home. I can't change the fact that he was starving. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. And but I can give him a family. I can give him a mom that'll help him deal with that. I can give him a mom that'll tell him every single day, you're gonna get food today. That's what I can give him. And in the same way, God gives us that. He gives us a daddy. He says, you're not doing this alone. I'm with you. I'm here to hold your hand through whatever it is you're going through. So that's what I guess we've learned throughout this, is just how it's amazing how adoption just kind of mimics God's heart, and seeing how we are his children. It doesn't matter if we're, Israel, part of Israel or not. It's like he said, we're all adopted, and it doesn't matter whether or not Elijah came from my DNA or not. He's still my son, and so I guess that's the biggest part that I've learned through this, is just realizing how much God loves us, because the comparison between how much I love Elijah and how much God loves me is so tiny. I can't love Elijah enough to compare to what God feels for us.